Well, welcome back to another thrilling episode of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, and it's another edition of Really Shitty Cinema. And we got three turd nuggets for you today that you'll probably run out and watch after I tell you about them anyway. So, anyway, the list. Alrighty, we go to Slaughter Hotel from 1971. And I was walking down 42nd Street, and this was playing. I don't remember what theater it was, but the poster was tied into the Richard Speck murders of a bunch of nurses in a hotel or something like that. So anyway, this catchphrase is that, the murder of 8 innocent nurses, yada, 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 and they showed a bunch of bodies piled up. Well, it should be that thrilling, because it's not. The big selling point seems to be that they have Klaus Kinski, because basically anything back then with Klaus Kinski headlining it would be over in Europe, even though Klaus, for the most part, just stands around in this film, smokes cigarettes, and is looking like he's trying to get into Margaret Lee's pants. But anyway, the standout of the film is Rosa Belneri, who was Lady Frankenstein, who walks around naked a lot. So anyway, there's a mass killer, and there's a dungeon full of shit, and this isn't a hospital. The original name of this film overseas was Asylum Erotica. It's a mental institution where women are kept that have problems, like Roosevelt. So anyway, a nurse's head is lopped off, and the body disappears. A couple other people are killed, and there is so much bullshit going on between the kills and things, and there's ample nudity, but not enough to keep you distracted. So at the very end, and you don't even know who the fucking killer is, he walks into this room of mental patients with a fucking mace and beats them all to death. There's your picture of the 8 murdered nurses. The film's a fucking turd, okay? It's slow moving, the payoffs are slow coming, and it really doesn't live up to anything. And like I said, if you like to see Klaus Kinski just stand around smoking a fucking cigarette, it's your kind of film. But like I said, that one chick getting naked might have been worth the look that I gave it to, because like I said, I didn't see it over there. I basically checked it out on Tubi, and I'm glad it didn't blow whatever the $3 admission was back then. Another one that thankfully never reached the big screen, but was pushed on bootleg VHSs at conventions as the Italian version of Alien, called Alien 2. Actually, it's a 1980 film called Alien Terror, which sucks a huge pair of sweaty donkey balls. And there's no payoff. Let me tell you how this goes. NASA footage, something crashing on the beach, little girl looking for a dog, comes upon this thing that basically rips her face off, and the little girl's sitting there crying with no face, and they cut away. Well, first you broke one taboo, you went after kids. Second, now I'm slightly interested because of what happened. My interest wanes as a bunch of spelunkers, I guess they call them or something, decide to go into some caverns by the ocean, where they go deep down and you get a lovely tour of stalactites and all that other shit, which I really could have seen on fucking YouTube. And then you get a couple halfway decent kill scenes. But the titular alien looks like pieces of fucking liver that are flopping around. It doesn't make much sense. In the end, when the last chick is pursued, it looks like a point of view shot through somebody's vagina. Seriously. So this thing's available on a Blu-ray. Do not waste your money. Trust Uncle Pete. This is a fucking turd of all turds. And our final installment for today is a wonderful biker film from 1971 called Bury Me an Angel, starring the 6-foot-tall Dixie Peabody. Remember Dixie Peabody? Well, you're not alone. The only other name in this film is Clyde Ventura, and there's a cameo by Charles Beach Dickerson, who was an executive producer on this thing. Basically, it's that Dixie's brother is shotgun killed in the beginning of the film, and the rest of the film is spent for them searching for the killer, who seems to elude them at every turn. Now, if you like endless scenes of 3 people on bikes just tooling around the highway, you're looking at about 1/3 or 2/3 of this film, basically, because that's what it is. There's one bar fight, it's not that good, and at the end, when Dixie finally corners the killer, he basically tells her, "Don't you know that your brother was your lover," or some dumb shit like that, and then the film ends. Well, like I said, there's 3 turds that you really should flush and not waste your time with, but who the fuck am I to tell you what to do? But anyway, check this out. This is a TV guide from 19 71 in April. Now, I know I spent a lot of time here talking about late night programming and stuff like that, but I thought it would be really cool to read off some of the late night programming that I had watched or how this thing was seen back in the 70s. So I went on eBay and I found a guy who had 8, vintage TV guides from 1970 and 1971. And usually I don't like spending money on this shit, but you know something, for nostalgia and whatever, just a historic reference, whatever, I bought them. They were like, $65 for all of them, which was an investment, for basically a couple shows I can do with this, just reading this stuff off. So if you really want to see what's in this TV guide, tune in Wednesday, because I will read the contents of one of these TV guides once a week, for the next 8 weeks. And you'll know what we had to go through back in the day to see quality programming. So anyway, I don't know where we're at as far as this bullshit with Snap goes. All I know is this is a fucking horrible thing to do to the people who fucking voted you in office, that you're basically taking away every benefit. I'm sure you're not fucking hurting for any kind of food, nor is any member of Congress hurting for any type of food. As a matter of fact, we should just wipe it clean, get rid of fucking everybody, and put some young, youthful minds in there that aren't fucking dinosaurs, that haven't enriched themselves at the public trough at the expense of the taxpayers. So it's going to be a shitty Thanksgiving, and just realize who's making it shitty. Donald fucking Trump. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about the little political input, but I've really fucking had it listening to this shit day in and day out, and nothing's getting done. So above all, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.